Hi friends, now I have the honor and the pleasure of having with me two rankers who have done exceedingly well in PGI Chandigarh exam this year. I have with me Dr. Aman Dr. Namrata. They have rank 15 and rank 28 in the PGI Chandigarh exam this year, and I'm sure with this interview today we will try to dissect how they approached PGI exam and what was their idea, and I'm sure they will be able to help the juniors who are listening to them and that how to approach this exam. But to begin with, I would like to ask them how they're feeling. Aman, how are you feeling today?
So first of all, sir, the feeling is still sinking in, and I'm very grateful to God, to all my teachers, my parents, especially my mom.
Yeah.
They've all worked very hard for me to achieve this dream of studying in one of the best institutions of the country, and I just want everyone to keep working for their dream, and one day they will surely achieve it.
I'm sure. Yes. And I'm very happy that you mention your parents, because yes, the parents actually they start everything. They are the people who have actually brought you up. So Namrata, you want to say something?
Sir, I'm feeling very relieved that now I don't have to study for PG entrances. And
no, that is a big relief, I'm sure.
Yeah. And definitely my parents played a very, very important role. And apart from that, a few friends who actually keep on guiding you and helping you rectify your mistakes they also play a very big role in it.
Okay, and so let's now get on to the I want you to respectively if I want Namrata to start and say that how did you approach your PGI paper, because it is the only paper that you give where you have more than one answer correct, and it is on pen and paper. It is slightly different from whatever else you do, and although it is a central institute, one of the best people aspire for, but it is slightly different from whatever else the person would do in his preparation time. So how did you approach the day of the exam? How many questions how many choices did you attempt? How did you, encircle that, how did you fill up the blackening of the circles that they give in the exam? How did you manage time? What are the challenges?
Okay, I think in PGI, apart from just your preparation, your exam day strategy is very, very important, because there is always a time constraint in PGI paper. So you have to be very fast when you are solving the paper. You have to be very fast since the beginning, and if you are able to complete the paper on time or 5-10 minutes before time, that's actually an achievement in itself. And secondly,
so the first thing that we learn is the time management. This is one exam where you have to manage your time well. If you don't, you're gone. Yes. And so to manage that, Namrata, that what I and we were all discussing before was that when you're doing the paper, some people have a habit that, okay, this question I will see later on, this question I will see later on. Do they actually get time to see the later on part in the exam?
We actually have to just see the question, and on spot you have to answer the question, mark the answers at that time only, because you won't be able to come back to that question most probably. So you just have to decide and go for it. And secondly, when you are filling the bubbles, I would suggest that you start filling from the margin, because at times, right when you start filling the options, you realize that you are marking the wrong option. So you still have a time to rectify your mistake and fill the right bubble.
That is actually a very important point.
Thirdly, you have to keep very cool during the exam, because there would be questions that you would have never heard of, but just by using your common sense among your 5 options, you can actually get 1 or 2 options right in any case.
So keep the common sense alive in the exam is her message. Aman, would you all want to add something? How many choices did you attempt?
So this time I think the positives were more. So okay, I attempted 558 options.
Yeah.
So sir, since the beginning of preparation only, I thought that PGI is 1250 true and false options. So you have to attempt each option, not each question.
Yes.
So maybe in some question there are all 5 correct, and in that you know very well, or another question which you don't know, only 1 option is correct. So maybe you can leave that doesn't affect the main score that much.
Okay.
So the strategy of giving the papers, since the beginning of the studies I was sure that I have to study according to PGI exam.
Okay.
So the mock papers really helped me in that time strategy, which is very much important in giving during the examination.
Okay. Okay. And now another thing that I discussed with them before this, I have been discussing with all rankers this time. This time the exam in PGI had more correct answers, and the challenge that has that a lot of people go to the exam with a prejudice. The prejudice is that I have to mark only this much. So my suggestion is, let's please go with like she said, cool mind. Go to the exam with a cool mind, with an open mind, see the paper. If the answer is surely correct, Whatever anybody has told you, have to mark it. You understand? So now in this exam, I've talked to all rankers, and they've already, most of the good rankers are 550 plus 550 odd attempt, probably more. While classically we would say in a PGI exam, people would mark like 450, 500. But the examiners would vary, and in this the questions had more correct answers. If you feel they are correct, then they're correct. Okay. So my message, and I am sure all of them, both of them also agree, that don't go with a prejudice. Don't go with the mindset that I have to mark only this much and after that I will stop. Why are you stopping? The answer is correct. You understand? That is one of the things that I have to tell you, that this exam was more doable, more answers were correct. So please make sure that you look at the paper, reorient your strategy. Like suppose you're a cricketer, you go to a match, you go to a pitch, but you see more grass on the pitch. You change. Your captain will change. Oh no, I want this bowler to bowl. This is have to use. That is strategy. You have to do it on the day. Okay. So keep your mind open, keep your cool. That is the idea so far. Now what I want to utilize this opportunity, that I have two rankers who have gotten very good rank in PGI Chandigarh. And when I discussed with them, there was so much bubbling with knowledge, and they wanted to tell that, sir, this topic is coming, this topic is coming. So I said, why don't you tell to the audience? So I asked them that, like, Aman, Namrata, can you help these students in any future aspirant who's aspiring for PGI?
Yes.
Give them some topics that they should read.
Sure. So sir, in PGI it is known that they tend to repeat topics, not questions, but they tend to repeat the topics. They turn into the same options. So like for example, thyroid malignancies, it's always there in the paper, and questions on breast carcinoma, like lobular cancer question was there. Maybe the options aren't the same, but if you use your common sense and you've read the topic well, so you'll be able to answer on that day. Sir, and peptic ulcer. So these common topics are there which people tend to read well, but on the day of the exam you have to just remain cool and attend them properly. Sir, and aneuploidies, lot of questions on aneuploidies this time. And sir, and for example, sir, neurofibromatosis, so neurocutaneous disorders are always there in top of each exam. Yes. So sir, I think previous year papers have helped me in making a list of topics which will be helpful in scoring more in the exam.
I am sure you would agree here is that although AIIMS and PGI are both central institutes, but the way they make the paper is very different.
Absolutely.
In AIIMS, it is more of a new question, more of visuals, more of clinical questions, more of integration. While in PGI, it is more of standard things, but more than one answer correct, and they tend to have a topic repeat. So if somebody would ask me, sir, in which paper I should look at previous paper, AIIMS or PGI, I would always say PGI, because PGI is something where they repeat topics, and that is of utmost value. That for a person like you guys, you are getting top ranks. So suppose you did not look at the previous paper of PGI, suddenly you get 15 ranks behind, and you miss out on the chance of getting the dream branch that you had. So the messages that we have gotten from them so far, and which are immensely valuable for people who are listening and they want to target the next PGI, look at the previous questions as well. Okay, very, very important. Highlight the topics. Namrata, you would want to add some topics?
Sir, I would like to say that AIIMS usually occurs 1 week before the PGI entrances, and there are lots of overlaps. Like I found that almost 3 to 4 questions, 5 questions were similar, or same topics were there. So once we are done with AIIMS exam, try to just remember what mistakes you did, because maybe you are going to encounter the same question in the next exam, and don't repeat the same mistake. You will really regret it.
Yeah, I understand, because if you repeat the same mistake, it's like sin.
Yes.
Because you could have done it in the last week. Yeah, that's a very good idea. So after AIIMS, she says that once you give your AIIMS, do not, you will be tired, but please write down your mistakes, find out the correct answers, so that when you appear for PGI, if the same question comes, because at the end of the day, they are all central institutes, they all want to ask what is new, what is happening. Sometimes, same question might come up, and that is a good idea. Any topic?
Sir, topics like breast cancer is a PGI hit topic. Then in skin, they will usually ask about pemphigus or pemphigoid disorders. Then there are like micro is another subject in PGI where people think that they ask very difficult questions from micro, but eventually you'll realize that it's too much oriented towards parasito and fungi and viruses, so they ask most questions from them, and these topics, these portions of micro are not very difficult to complete.
Yeah,
they
doable.
Are short. Yeah,
doable.
And
even actually bacteriology is so long. These are small actually, but people spend so much time in that, so they get fatigued by the time they reach mycology. Yeah, and So far what we've gained from them is the strategy towards PGI, how to attempt the exam, how to prepare, how to topics to read for. So now let's go on to find out more about them. Aman, you were telling me that you want to become an ophthalmologist.
Yes, sir.
So how are you feeling? You wanted to become ophthalmologist, and you'll definitely get this branch at this rank. So what is your feeling right now?
So just that if you what you want and if you get that thing, it feels like sometimes it feels unreal, but
Yeah.
when you work so hard and
Yeah.
then results show, so
All the uncertainties, so much doubts, everything is now over.
these exams are very uncertain, but
Yeah.
finally everything.
Any competition is always uncertain because somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. Yes.
sir.
Namrata, how are you feeling now? You were telling me that you wanted to pursue pediatrics. So what is your feeling right now?
So it is a very good feeling. I feel very relieved, very relaxed, and getting the branch that you sought out for is like really a dream come true. And even if you have to persevere a lot in that department, in that branch, I don't think it's a bad idea, because at any point of time you are actually living your dream. So I feel great.
Namrata, and we were discussing that how you used to approach the DAMS test and discussion. So what was your unique approach that you were discussing that so that people who are following us, who are doing test and discussion with us, they can utilize?
So I used to take the DAMS tests very seriously, and the mistakes that I used to do, I used to jot them down in a diary.
And
So
what was the name of the diary? Error book. Error book. I actually liked it because I probably I might plagiarize and copy it and tell to other students later on also, because I feel in a test the most important thing is things that you do wrong, and I actually loved it when you told it. Error book, very good. So how in the end you read the error book?
Yes, because I had constraint of time. Just before the PGI entrances, I had to join the course that I had taken through All India. So and plus the counseling and everything was going on. So eventually I had very less time. So I was forced to do selective study, and because of that, I mean, it turned out to be a boon, because I just revised all the errors. That was the most important thing that I did, because most of the times we repeat the same errors in
Yes.
different tests.
It's actually,
that
a
really
very good point that you've raised, because sometimes people, when they give a test, in the test they score 70%, they get very happy. But they don't realize that there are 30% questions that you're doing wrong, and if you learn those and you do not do them wrong, next time your score will improve.
Yeah.
That's very important point that she's raised. And Aman, how was your experience with test and discussion with us?
So I took TND last year.
Yes.
So every week, whatever the subject was, I used to complete the course and try to give the test sincerely.
Yeah.
And then obviously after coming back from the class, whatever topics I felt I was weak in, and what the teachers told me, new updates which were not there in my notes, so I used to jot it down there, so that at the end there should be one place from where you should be able to revise everything, because at the end everything feels scattered and it's difficult to revise all 19 subjects. So you should have one single book for each subject, for which you are thorough with it from cover to cover. So that should be your notes. So everything should be there.
So his message is that whenever you're preparing, try to consolidate things into one place, so that in the end you're able to revise. And her message is that in addition to whatever you have concised, please add one thing which you do wrong, so that you can add that notebook into the final most phase of revision, and cut all your errors in one place. So I think both of them together have actually contributed to helping students make a very good strategy for the exam. Now, Namrata, I wanted to ask that you did your graduation from Jamshedpur.
Yes.
And so I wanted to know, and I want you to actually say it loud and clear to people listening to you today, that whenever people are sitting in Jamshedpur, Raipur, or maybe in a tier 2 city and on a very location which is like off Delhi and Mumbai, sometimes they feel that only Delhi people are getting ranks, only Bombay. So is it possible for a student sitting on the outskirts and still get a good rank in central exam?
It is absolutely possible. And
Can you
all-
motivate them to study hard?
Yes, and I believe that if you keep on working, maybe today your luck won't favor you. Someday it will come on your side, and that day you will achieve your dream. So just keep on persevering and do not give up, because most of the times we go with the pre-notion that since I studied in a big, in a city that is not a metro city or a big
It's
city.
not such a big city. Yes.
So we feel that maybe we are less competent than others, and you should not have that notion, because it is very much doable, it is very much achievable, and go with an open mind in the exam, and definitely one day you'll be able to achieve it.
Any message that you want to give to your college juniors through this medium, if they are listening to us?
My college, I would like to tell my juniors that they are very hardworking, and the only thing that I can add on is that do not stop. Do not just stop working, and if you will keep on going towards your goal, you will definitely achieve it. And learn from your past mistakes. Do not go in the same flow. You should always make sure that you are progressing. Like from your past mistakes, your graph should always rise. So
that is one of the things I feel has contributed to your success also. You've always learned from your mistakes,
yes.
And that is actually a very positive thing, and keep it alive. I'm actually very happy to hear this, because most people are happy to do something right, and they do something wrong, they don't care. But you have to learn from mistakes, then you improve and you reach to the center level. That's very nice, and I think they all should keep the faith that it is possible. Yes.
Yes. And step out of your comfort zone, because
Yes.
sometimes we become too comfortable, like theek hai, aa raha hai, I'm getting 70%, that's fine, I'll be able to do it. No, you can always improve, because the exam is very dicey, very unpredictable.
Competitive.
Sometimes you go ahead, go for an exam and you think that you will make in top 1000, but you won't get it. So you are not supposed to be disheartened. You have to keep on working and you will achieve it.
Aman, what is your motivational message for the people listening to us?
Just 2 words. So keep it simple and revise. So because if you keep it simple, then you are able to understand better, and then at the end you'll be able to consolidate and revise better and perform better. Doing very rare things or very unknown things, which may feel that you should know, but actually those things don't matter in your rank. What matters is the simple things you don't do it wrong.
Yes.
So you decrease your negatives by doing those things which you know not wrong.
Yes. So the idea is to know what you know.
Yes.
So if you know something, you should clearly know it.
Yes.
If you don't know something hi-fi, that doesn't actually matter in the real exam. In the real exam, especially if you listen to the topics that they were saying, they're all very basic topics. Breast cancer. Even if I was a non-medico, if I even have none of us was a doctor, and you ask somebody that should we read breast cancer, they said definitely you should read, with the incidence going up. So it is like common sense. But what happens is, with so much of the murkiness around, so much of the dust around and the grey haze, you start thinking that maybe in the PG incident they are going to ask something obscure. Actually, it's not like this. You have to read and own your concepts. You have to know what you know, clearly know. I think this is the message that both the rankers are wanting to convey to you. On behalf of the entire DAMS family, I actually am very proud of their achievement, and I'll ask Namrata to add something. Yes.
Yeah, sir, I wanted to add that the faculty updates that come up on DAMS exclusive club are actually very helpful, especially for PGI, because I've seen that I was going through the faculty updates before PGI, and you end up seeing the updates as your option in the exam.
Yeah.
And you can recall it, because if you're freshly revised, you can recall it, and it saves so much of time.
Did you enjoy the DAMS club experience, and were you active
Yes.
on it? So did you ask questions, or did you see what others are asking?
No, I used to see. And
Toppers
I used
usually
to
do
follow
this, I'm sure. I've talked to many toppers, and I've seen most of the toppers, they don't ask questions, but they see what others are asking and learn from their mistakes, and they do it. So Aman, how was your experience?
So it was the time when I was bored studying, or it was monotonous. So it was a very good, anyways, people open Facebook. So it just takes 5-10 minutes, just open, see 5-10 new questions, MCQs. Then you tend to remember those options and it clicks somewhere. So those things help in the long run.
Yes.
So I think, DAMS club is
So
very helpful.
if I summarize, like what I've learned from you is, like, give tests religiously. That was, I think, your common strategy that you have. Before the exam that you actually want, like they wanted to do from PGI Chandigarh, they looked at the past papers of PGI Chandigarh to make sure that they know this game, they know the strategy. They were very focused on, even on, if you notice, even on tiny things like how to, circle how from outer to inner on. They were very focused, so they don't miss out on a single mark even. So that is the dedication that you need to reach to a central institute. They always kept the faith that they can do well, and now today they will be doing their DEAM branches from a dream institute, PGI Chandigarh. With this, we sign off from this interview today, and I hope there are many positives that you could gain out of this, and I'm sure you will rewind this interview again and you listen to it again, and please note down the topics that they mentioned right from the people who got a good rank, so that you are able to strategize better. Thank you very much. I wish them all best from the DAMS family. Thank you very much.